Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
Thank you, everybody. It's great to be with my people again here on a wonderful Wednesday. This was a rock and a foundation for me during many of those difficult, challenging months of the pandemic, to be able to log on with you all weekly and get our mind, our body, and our soul feeling good was always just a treat and a gift for me. Then we've carried that forward a little bit on Saturdays. I kept seeing some of you on Saturdays, which was always wonderful, but now we have an opportunity for summer break. I'm an English teacher. I'm back to teaching English once again in my life, which is something that also came out of this community for me, a deeper confidence and readiness and willingness to go back into teaching and hopefulness. And that came out of this community in a lot of ways. So I'm very grateful to be here with you all. We've got a great community here. I'm on summer break. That means I get to be with you, as Z said, till at least sort of mid to late August or so. I think we have about 7 classes in total we'll get, 7 weeks. If I looked at my calendar correctly, that's a great stretch of time to really get some good progression, growth, development in, some steady practices, some steady habits, and learn a few things along the way. If you've been with me before, welcome back. It's good to be with you. If you're new, we've got a very basic sort of rhythm here and approach. We're founded and sort of rooted in 3 basic concepts that I think about as I'm preparing these classes and doing them along with you. We're thinking about gentleness. We're being gentle with our body. We're listening to our body, and we're adapting. So gentleness and adaptability. We adapt the movements based on our skill level, based on how ready we're feeling at the moment. And both of those concepts, how we actualize those concepts, are rooted in mindfulness. We're listening deeply to our body throughout the experience, scanning our body, always saying, how is this making my body feel? What is my body inviting me to at this moment? And when our body's inviting us to push a little harder and to get a little bit more intense, to put a little bit more into these exercises, we do that. When our body's just getting warmed up and saying, hold on, I'm a little tired here, a little tight here, a little cranky there, then we listen to that and we're gentle with it, and we adapt the movements to what our body needs in order for us to be gentle to our body and to push it when it's inviting us to. The basic setup of each class is we start off with some basic warm-up movements, just some light sort of flow type movements where we start to get the body warmed up and used to a little bit of movement in these mornings. Then we do 5 exercises a bit more intensely out of our chair in a particular rhythm. We do 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. I'll call out those intervals for you. Then we move to standing, and we do our movements that are pretty similar or sort of linked up to those first sitting movements, standing near our chair. And we use our chair for balance and support if we need it. And again, like that adaptability concept, we step away as we feel our body is ready to step away from the chair and do these movements a little bit more independently. And I will make suggestions along the way on how you could do that. You're listening and following along and growing. And I want you to learn and internalize and bring these movements, these practices into your repertoire. These become yours as soon as I share them with you. They've been shared with me. I've learned them from other people. They were given to me as a gift. You receive them as a gift, use them as a gift, and share them as a gift with others in your life. And then the magic piece to the whole thing is we finish off with 10 minutes or so of a meditative, contemplative mindfulness experience. I love that Z mentioned before literacy in body, mind, and I think she's in spirit maybe. I certainly think a lot about literacy in the mind. I'm an English teacher, but reading and listening to and understanding our body and our heart or our spirit or our soul or whatever you want to call that part of ourselves, that luminous part of ourselves, that's also a kind of literacy. And so we're listening to reading our body, reading our heart throughout these experiences. And that last meditation piece really ties that all together for us. Once our body is ready and relaxed and feeling full of oxygen and blood and air and light and movement, then we're ready to tune in with our mind and have a deeper mindfulness experience. So that's the basic overview to the class. It's great to be here with you. We'll get right into experiencing it, and I'll explain more along the way. What we love to do with any sort of movement practice, exercise routine, is to really link up, and this is out of the yoga tradition, to link up our breathing with our movement. And so we're going to start off by finding ourselves in a good position in our chair. We want a nice, good, sturdy chair for us throughout these classes, something we can sit upright in. And that's where we want to start. We want our feet flat on the floor, our hips beneath us. We're sitting upright and alert. We're engaging our core. Shoulders are down and back. We've got a good posture. And then the cue we love in this class is that we like to imagine there's a golden string pulling us up through the crown of our head. That just gets that little extra lift, that little extra core engagement. We want to be tuned in, not uncomfortable, but upright and alert. And from here, we just begin taking deep breaths in through our nose, really internalizing what this posture means for us. We want to always return to this posture in between exercises, in between movements. We breathe into our stomach and allow our stomach to expand on the in-breath. We hold the breath for a moment and fully exhale out of our mouth. Breathe in through the nose, stomach expanding. Hold the breath for a moment. Fully exhale out of your mouth, and navel goes into your spine. Now we're going to get a little movement involved with that breathing rhythm, so keep the same breathing rhythm. And then we want to inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale out to the side. Inhale our arms up overhead. Reach up top, exhale out to the side. Get a nice steady rhythm going with this. Deep inhale, stomach expands. Hold the breath for a moment. Slow, long exhale. Navel goes into your spine. Wiggle the fingers out to the side as they come down. Maybe stretch the wrist around a little up top. Feel things out. Get into a nice rhythm here to start to feel the movement. Starting to get loose. Nice steady breathing rhythm. Nice steady arm rhythm. Wiggle those fingers, move those wrists. Make it rain a little bit. Always linking up the breathing with the movement. Good, and pause there with the arms to the side. Then we want to place our hands on our shoulder. So just trying to get our fingers touching our shoulder or wherever they could reach, wherever feels comfortable. Maybe it's more on the neck. Just find a good place somewhere in this area. And then we want to inhale, open everything up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale, coming forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, contracting. A few more times on your own on this. Just explore the range of motion here, explore the movement. One more time. Good, and release the arms. Now we're going to keep this warm up going. Hopefully you're starting to feel a little warmer, blood starting to move, breath is picking up. That's what we'd like to see. When you start to crack a sweat, that's a good sign. That's what we're looking for. We're going to start at the bottom of our body this time, and we'll go up to the top. And we just want to get some gentle, steady movement going here just to wake the body up. So we're going to start off with our favorite toe taps. So we just toe tap out to the left, toe tap out front, across the body. We're sitting upright and alert. We've still got that good posture in. We're working with the left leg here, or if you're doing the right, that's fine too. We'll switch it up in a moment. Good posture here, steady breathing, just 3 directional taps, just getting the hips, the ankles, the knees all warmed up and happy so we could do more intense movement later. This is also just teaching us proprioception, awareness of our body in space, comfortability with our body in space. Let's come over to the right side here now, out to the right, out front. And across. Again, mindfulness throughout, always remembering that good posture. My stomach and core is engaged. I'm sitting upright and alert. Independent movement down below in my body. Wherever your range of motion is at this point, that's part of that adaptability piece. If you're just moving tightly, that's fine. We'll expand the range of motion as we go. You do what you can to where your body feels comfortable but challenged. That's that sweet spot. We want to be in a safe, comfortable space, but also challenging and pushing forward. Good. And pause on that. Now we're going to start to get our hamstrings and hips a little bit more warmed up. We're going to do one of our favorite stretches, the world's greatest stretch, we call it. We want to kick our left leg out. Heel's going to be flat on the floor. Toes pointing up to the sky. And we come and bend forward at our waist. I could always pull my arms away. I'm not using these for too much support. They're just hanging out there. The chest is still open. If you saw me from the side, my back is flat. And you're feeling a good stretch in the hamstring from the calf all the way up through the hamstring. Feeling a good stretch there. You could try to start to reach down a little bit lower on your legs, see how that feels. Mindfulness, always scanning, how do the different parts of the movement feel? Learning how your body responds to movement. Then we could reach our right arm up overhead, trying to get to a nice perpendicular angle here, a parallel angle. And when you're up top here, give the wrist a few spins, wiggle the fingers. Again, just see how that feels down through the whole body. Every part of our body is working together, part of one system. Then bring that right arm down, bring the left leg in. Now we're going to kick the right leg out, heel on the floor, toe pointing up to the sky, bent over at the waist. Again, you'll feel that stretch through the hamstring, the underside of the upper thigh, down through the calf muscle, the underside of the lower leg. Then we're going to reach up overhead again. Left arm going up overhead. Wiggle those fingers. Move that wrist around. And then bring that left arm down. Excellent. Moving more into the upper body now. Drawing on the yoga tradition, a half moon pose. We're going to inhale our arms up overhead. Bring those palms together, biceps into the ear. And we're going to bend over to the right side. Again, our posture's locked in. We're not slumping forward. The temptation is to slump forward. Only go as far as you can while keeping good posture. You'll feel a good stretch to the side of the body, but keep engaging that core. As you breathe in, expand. And as you exhale, go deeper into the stretch. Breathe in and expand and find that good posture. Breathing out, we go deeper into the stretch. Inhale, expand. Exhale, returning to center and letting the arms fall to the side. Inhale those arms up overhead again. Palms coming together, biceps in towards the ear, coming over to the left side. Feeling that stretch to the right side of the body now, not slumping over, still nice and upright and strong. Inhale, you expand, find that posture, find that length. Exhaling, you go deeper into the stretch. Inhale, find your posture. Exhale, deeper into the stretch. One more time, inhale, find that nice long posture. And then exhaling, coming back to center, arms falling to the side. Excellent start. That's our warm up here. I'm going to adjust my camera slightly. Great. Now we've got 5 exercises out of the seated position. We're going to start off with some simple punches, getting the body moving more, going at whatever pace we like, picking up speed and intensity as we feel warmed up. We're going to do that for 40 seconds. That's going to get the shoulders feeling great. Then we're going to do leg press-ins. We're going to place our 2 wrists together, have our fists sort of turn into a punch again. We're going to place them between our legs, sit to the front of our chair, and we're going to squeeze in for 8 or so seconds at a time, just doing a little pulse on and off throughout the 40 seconds of work, going for as long as you can with that squeeze, taking little breaks as you need it, trying to work for as much of the 40 seconds as you can. Third movement is going to be our bow and arrow. Really squeezing through the back muscles, using those bicep muscles to pull that bow apart, imagining that there's a really tight bowstring that we're pulling, working the biceps on both arms, the triceps, the upper back. Great movement for us. We'll talk more as we get there. Third movement is going to be a wide out with a reach over. So we, on the same side of our body, left leg goes out as wide as we can. We reach over with our left arm. Same thing on this side. Getting into a nice flow with it, wide out with the reach over. And the 5th movement is going to be a bicep curl, really squeezing in our biceps into a press. Bicep curl into a press overhead. Imagine there's a weight in your hand, bicep curl into a press. Those are our 5 movements. We've got 40 seconds of work followed by 20 seconds of rest. I'll call out those intervals. That's a great interval for anything you do in your workout life. 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, 2-to-1 work to rest ratio. Hopefully you've got some water with you as well. We'll take a little break in between, but you're always drinking water whenever your body tells you you need it. So let's jump right into that. We've got punches for 40 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. Keeping a good posture throughout, just throwing light jabs at first. We'll get the speed and intensity going as we feel comfortable and confident, but you do a variation, speed, tempo, intensity that feels right for you. It could be fast, it could be slow. You could throw bigger punches, slower punches, tighter punches, whatever feels good to you right now. We're just working hard for 40 seconds. That's already flying by. We're working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's our first movement. Flies by real quick. We take 20 seconds of rest. We're ready to get into leg press-ins. We're going to keep those hands in a fist. We're going to place them between our 2 knees. You squeeze and push in as hard as you can. Hold that squeeze for as long as you can. Take a little break to try to do as much squeezing in with your legs as you can for the 40 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to squeeze in for about 8 seconds here or so, take a quick 2-second break, and I'm going to do that 4 times or so. If you need to do shorter intervals, that's fine with me. It's a little break here, coming back, squeezing together. Taking a little break, coming back, squeezing together. The legs should start to tremble a little bit. This is an isometric movement. We're not moving, but our muscles are working very hard. Little break. Releasing one more time here. Good hard squeeze through the end, squeezing tight in. Still got good posture, still breathing deeply. Everything is still feeling good. This is a gift we're giving to ourselves. Squeezing hard for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our second movement. Coming into our third movement is bow and arrows. This bicep is working hard. This tricep is pushing out. Chest and shoulder is involved. Upper back muscles are pulling that bow apart, really using that mind-body connection to activate all our muscles. We'll get right into that in 3, 2, 1. Pull that bow, hold it for a second, look through your sight, coming over to the other side. Good rhythm with the breath here. One more rep. Good, and release. Excellent. That's our third movement. I'm starting to sweat already. That's a great sign. Sweating, breathing heavier. This is great signs that our body is doing good things and that we're healthy. It's a sign of health and wellness, not a sign of weakness, the sweat and the breath picking up. Our fourth movement is going to be the wide out with the overhead reach. So just like our toe taps, reaching out to one side, reaching up overhead. Nice and simple. Find a good rhythm. Keep good posture, good breathing throughout. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Working hard for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our fourth movement. Fifth movement is going to be, imagine we got a nice big weight in our hands. In future weeks, we'll work in water bottles to add, or cans of soup or something like that. We could add in as little hand weights. We'll talk about that in future weeks. But for right now, we're imagining a nice weight in our hand. We're squeezing our biceps up into a bicep curl, transitioning into the overhead press, coming back down, release. Bicep curl, overhead press, nice rhythm on that. Let's do that in 3, 2, 1. So really imagine there's a big old weight in your hand. We can do a lot with that mind-muscle connection. Our mind can activate our muscles very strongly as if they have a big weight in their hands. Let's work hard through the end here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's our first round of seated exercises. 5 exercises, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. Take a slightly extended break here. Then we're jumping right back into the movement. Great time to grab a drink of water. Please do have water near you. Hot days out these days. I think today is going to be a nice warm one, which is great. Good to get out in the sun, get some vitamin D, but we want to stay hydrating as well. Okay, let's jump right back into it. 5 exercises. We've got our punches, we've got our press-ins, we've got our bow and arrow, we've got our wide outs, we've got our bicep curls and overhead press. Great full body range here, getting the whole body involved. Even more coming up in the standing exercises. Let's get into those punches in 3, 2, 1. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. Excellent work. Moving right along. Class is zooming by here. We're going to get into our press-ins, fists coming together in between the legs, squeezing in for whatever intervals feels appropriate, trying to work as much as we can over the 40 seconds. Sitting towards the front of our chair. Let's start with a squeeze in 3, 2, 1. Release whenever you need to. You adapt the movement yourself. Squeeze as long and as hard as you can. Take little breaks to get through the 40 seconds. Squeezing hard through the end here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. After a little break, we're going into our bow and arrows. Always doing that mind-body connection, squeezing all the muscles involved with a lot of tension, a lot of intensity. The more you squeeze, the tougher the movement's going to be. You can control the intensity and adapt it to how you're feeling today. Let's jump into that in 3, 2, 1. Working with the breath there. Three, 2, 1. Finish there. Excellent work. 2 more movements. Wide out with the reach over, biceps into press. Let's get going in 3, 2, 1. Good vigorous movement for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work there. 1 more movement after a little break. Bicep squeeze, squeezing in the bicep muscles, pressing overhead, squeezing in the shoulder muscles, triceps involved as well. Good upper body movement here. Let's hit it in 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the end of our seated exercises. You could grab a drink, and then we're going to stand up and get ready for standing exercises. Always practicing good standing up mechanics, getting out of the chair. We'll work on that in another week. I'm going to adjust my camera. You grab a sip of water. I'll grab one as well. So now in the second half of class, we do exercises from the standing position. We've got the chair near us for support. It could stay in front of you the entire time. Always reach out and grab that if you need it for safety, for confidence. But I'm going to move it away just so you can see the movements, but you're always imagining that chair in front of you. Or if you feel great and you don't feel like you need it, then you can move it away as well. I'll tell you when to work in that chair, and it does start off in our first exercise. Our first exercise will be kicks forward. Okay, so we could use that chair for support, and we're just getting a kick forward for 40 seconds. We'll work one leg in the first set and the other leg in the second set. Next up, after that, going to use the chair on this is going to be a lateral squat. So again, you could have this for support, just lateral squatting or lateral lunge. So reaching out to one side. Again, we'll hit all these on one leg, and then we'll switch legs for the second round. Third exercise is going to be a bow and arrow again. We love the bow and arrow movement. We'll do this out of a quarter squat horse stance position. If that's getting too tired, if your legs are too tired by that point, you could do the bow and arrow standing, but adding in the squat will make it more difficult. Fourth movement is going to be toe rockers. Let me adjust this camera slightly. Fourth movement will be toe rockers. We're going to come back onto our heels, come up onto our toes. Heels to toes, getting the calves involved, getting the balance working for us. That's our fourth movement. Fifth movement will be balance, lifting that leg up to 90 degrees. So we want 90 degrees at the knee, at the hip, at the ankle. If that's too difficult to hold, you could just simply pick it up off the ground, or you could go into the backside and lift the heel up towards the butt, whichever variation works best for you, the most difficult being trying to get that leg to 90 degrees. So we're going to zoom through this so we have time for our meditation. We want to hit both sides. So let's get right into it. We're going to do kicks forward, getting into that in 3, 2, 1. So your chair can be here for support. You're just kicking forward. I got to move forward slightly. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Little break. We move into lateral squat. So you got that chair in front of you. We're going to squat out to the side as far as the range of motion allows. You should feel that in your glute, your hamstring, and the quad muscle. Let's do that in 3, 2, 1. So you got that chair in front of you if you need it. If you don't need it, you could do what I'm doing. You could try to get deeper and deeper into that lunge, that lateral squat. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Third movement is going to be the bow and arrow. It's great to do this out of what's called the horse stance, sort of wide quarter squat position. We want to exhale as we pull that bow out. That's when we exhale. That's the good breathing rhythm. Inhale in the transition, stomach full of air. Exhale as you push out. Hold for a second. That's a great rhythm for this movement. Let's do that in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Finish there. Excellent work. That's our third movement. Fourth movement, great to have the chair in front of you for support. I'm just showing you a side angle. Heel to toe rockers, coming up onto the toes, calf raise, coming up onto the heels, and getting a nice rocking motion with that. Keeping it controlled though, starting in 3, 2, 1. Great for balance, great for calf health, ankle stability. Working hard for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Fifth movement before a little extended break. We're working on balance, trying to lift that leg up. Hopefully the goal, the most difficult version, is to 90 degrees at the hip, the knee, the ankle. If you just need to pick it up off the ground, if that's all you could get to, that's fine. If you need to do it on the backside, that's fine as well. We're trying to hold for 40 seconds here, starting in 3, 2, 1. Again, have that chair near you for confidence and support, but as you can pull away, again, that's more of the challenge. But you're doing whatever is enough of a challenge for you today. Balance work is really important. Isometric work, being able to hold our body in a particular position, really important. Holding strong for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg. Excellent work there. That was a lot of work on the left leg. We're going to make sure this right leg feels caught up now after a little drink of water. Okay, we'll probably drop the bow and arrows out on this so we get plenty of time in for meditation. And we've done plenty of bow and arrows today. So we'll get our 4 movements. We're going to do kicks forward. We're going to do lateral squats to the right. We're going to do toe rockers. We'll do balance work on the right leg. Bring this right leg up to par with our left leg here. Starting with our kicks forward in 3, 2, 1. Try to keep good posture, good position. Feel like a fighter, feel like a warrior on these. When we do the punches, when we do kicks, feel like you're a strong warrior, like you're a good fighter. That's going to get us in the right mindset to get the most out of this movement. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent work there. Little break, let our body catch up. We're moving into lateral squats to the right. Chairs in front of you if you need it. Coming out to the right side. Feeling that hip glute engage. Pushing back up in. Going to wherever you feel confident. If it's just a little step out, that's fine. Over the course of the next 7 weeks, we'll build up the range of motion. By the end, you're going to have a great looking lunge. If it doesn't look great already, let's jump in 3, 2, 1. Feel that right leg catching up to that left leg. We gave all the focus to the left leg in the first standing set. Now we're giving that focus to that right leg. Working hard for 3, 2, 1. Great work there. We're going to skip our bow and arrows. We got a lot of bow and arrows in today. We'll go into our toe rockers. Heel to toes. Great for balance, great for ankle health. Ankle health correlated to heart health. All good things for us. We're coming up onto our heels, coming up fully onto our toes. Good squeeze here. Make sure you're squeezing the calf muscles. Try to be like a ballerina here, a ballet artist. Coming up nice and strongly onto the toes in 3, 2, 1. Working hard for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good work there. Last exercise, bringing this right leg up to snuff. We're going to do our balance, trying to get to 90 degrees in all the joints if we can. Anything shy of that is fine. Listen to your body on what you could do today. If you need to do the reverse version, that's fine as well. Trying to get away from the chair as we feel confident. Putting all those pieces together to finish strong in 3, 2, 1. Last exercise here, bringing everything together, good posture, good breathing. We're confident. We've got smiles on our faces. This workout has felt great. Legs staying strong. Body might be starting to tremble and shake a little bit. That means it's learning, it's growing. We're almost there. You're sticking strong through the end here. Great for balance, great for isometric strength, great for hip health. Working hard through the end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg returns to the floor, and you begin to slowly and gently return to your chair. Grab a drink of water. I'm going to put a poem in the chat. That's going to be a part of our meditation today. I'm going to change my camera, and I'll discuss the meditation technique in a moment. Okay, wonderful. So this summer we'll be practicing 3 meditation styles that have become foundational to my own spiritual practice. We'll talk about the other 2 in coming weeks, but the first one is really one of my favorites. I've been doing it for a while. It's sort of like a mantra meditation. In the Western tradition, we might call it Lectio Divina. Lots of different names. It's the basic chanting and repetition of a sacred word or phrase. Sometimes this word or phrase or even a sound is given to us. In the Hindu tradition, for example, they might chant the sound of Om, the sacred sound, the vibration of the universe. Other times it might come out of scriptures or holy writings. Other times we might discover it ourselves. And so the version I've sort of found myself doing over the years, and it's been just given as a gift to me, is to use poetry to do it. Sometimes they're more contemporary poems, but today we're going to use a poem from the 13th century Iranian poet Rumi out of the Sufi Islamic tradition. Translated by Coleman Barks, just sort of as famous as Rumi for popularizing these poems in a certain way. And so the basic process here is I will read the poem once. We'll find ourselves in a good meditative, contemplative posture and space. I'll read the poem again, and you'll listen for a word or a phrase that strikes you, grabs you, moves you. It's not the right word or phrase. It's not trying to find something. Let yourself be given something. Listen as I read the poem, or you could look on in the chat. There's a link there to a good version as well. But when you hear that word or phrase, then for 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, we'll gently repeat that word or phrase to ourselves with our breathing. Find a good rhythmical relationship between the repetition of the word in your mind and your breathing. We'll do that for a few minutes. We'll dive deeply into that word or phrase. We'll extract everything we can out of it, let it sit into our heart, our soul. And then we'll read the poem once more to conclude, and that'll be our meditation experience. But really, you want to be carrying this basic experience outside to your life outside of this class. So maybe later today, you repeat that word or phrase for 10 minutes. Maybe tomorrow you repeat it for 15 minutes. Maybe you do a little bit of repetition of that word or phrase each day for the next week or so. See what comes out of that repetition of that word or phrase. We could do this pretty endlessly. There's always something new to discover. So I'd invite you to find yourself in a good meditative posture. How we started off class is perfectly appropriate. Upright and alert, core engaged, breathing deeply. But if you have another posture you like or like to sit on the floor, I have liked doing sort of a half lotus position myself the past few years. This is where I feel comfortable and contemplative. Whatever's best for you today. But listen as I read The Guest House by Rumi. And just take a deep breath or two to clear your mind and focus and center yourself here. Clear away any thoughts or distractions and listen as I read Rumi's The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whomever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Now listen as I read this poem once more, and listen for a word or phrase that strikes you or calls out to you. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And so take whatever word or phrase struck you or called out to you and gently repeat it to yourself rhythmically along with your breathing. And to conclude here, as I read this poem once more, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And so the word that struck me today was laughing. And so I'm going to repeat that to myself and chew on it and think, what is that inviting me to? Why is that reaching out to me right now? And this was a little taste of this experience. We'll expand on it in coming weeks, and I would invite you to expand on it in your own practice. Repeat it for 10 minutes before bed with your breath. Repeat it upon waking with your breath. Sit for a few minutes in meditation in the morning, at lunch, whatever strikes you. But you could return to this word or phrase as an anchor, as a source of strength, as a foundation, and it'll teach you something over the next week. And I thank you for joining me on our first wonderful Wednesday of the summer, and I look forward to our next weeks together.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.